you motherfucker. Just split the screen how I want you to split. Alright. Creator dashboard. Broadcast settings. Oh, Page Theater, thank you for the follow, whoever you are. Can I hear me? I can hear me. Oh, that's great. No problems. No problems at the beginning. Baloo, willst du ein Karotten? Komm. My dog loves boiled carrots. Sit. Ah, yeah, good. I would pick him up, but he won't let me. The second I lean over to grab him, he will immediately. Let's. Oh, that's funny. He will run away. So that's image. What is background? Oh, I turned that off. Okay, so if I do that, that means I can pull up Discord and I can paste the link. Oops. Okay. Almost. Yeah. Yeah. Let's move that in a little bit. Oh, did the Discord finally post? Did the Discord finally post on time that I'm live? Never happens. Discord is always like, and he's live a half an hour ago. Chris Saffron, hola, Two Langs, Bird, how's it going? Let's see. We need to get this one and this one. So we have Gamel Song, we have Crown and Wish, we have Interactive Fiction Practice, and we have Monochrome, which is good. That's a good thing. So I'm thinking that Rinzai's not here, assumedly. He's not here yet. So we'll probably start with a game that is not Rinzai. Although... Blue, do you want to come in my lap? Willst du? Huh? My dog doesn't know what he wants. He wants carrots. Hello, Toaster Struder. I have to crack a beer. Ein deutsches Bier. Bellheimer. It's from a nearby village. Rankane Moni, also known as Identified Rodent. Previously known as, FKA, formerly known as Unidentified Rodent. Hello. Yeah, so we're just getting going. And I'm just trying to decide which ones we're going to do. Drinking on the Job, 100%. Minecraft Yagelrocks. Oh, man. That name actually might be harder to pronounce than mine. Oh, God, I just realized that I'm on my other Twitch account. Oh, it's awesome. Okay, got it. The rodent is now finally identified. That's true. Rodent was identified. FKA. See, the thing is currently identified rodent is a lot like FKA Twigs. Oh, can I get you? Yeah. You're going on stream. You're going on stream. I got you. I finally got him. Whenever I reach for him, he runs away because he enjoys his freedom. I wish I could have a dog cam, but he's too excited. He just runs around. Say hello, Blue. This turn cotton. There you go. Yeah, eat the carrot. Okay, you can go away now. Okay, it's time to work. Virtual pet. Yeah. I would love to have a dog cam. I would need to set up, I think I would need to string cams all throughout the house though, because the dog, it goes everywhere and there's no stopping him. He is his own man and he is hilarious. I love how we all simultaneously share. And with dog, yeah, I mean, you know, they speak deep into the psyche of just deep into human consciousness. Dogs do. It's like kids, birds, spiders. You know, I should set up a chicken duck cam. You should, and then stream it because that would be awesome. That would actually be super sick. That would be really, really cool. But yeah, dogs are a very interesting thing, specifically for narrative too. Since I'm doing this already, for narrative, dogs are amazing. They're amazing tools because there's a really famous book written by, I forget the name, but he was a screenwriter. You really want a Shiba Inu? Yeah, I mean, you got the money. Those things are fucking expensive. Yeah, essential factor. But Save the Cat is the name of the book. And it's a screenwriting book. Yeah, see, my dog is currently trying to pull his bed out of his kennel because he wants to have sex with it. That's his favorite thing to do. So the Save the Cat is a book about screenwriting specifically, but it applies to all fiction, in my opinion. Screenwriting is just a really hyper efficient version of, you know, narrative writing. Did you get it out? Okay, cool. And it's a really interesting book because it talks about how if you want to help the audience identify who the protagonist of a narrative is, have them save a cat. Right. And I mean, it doesn't need to be a cat. It's just, that's the example. Have them save a dog or, you know, some type of, a human is almost too like, look how special they are. Right. Not everybody's going to agree with it. They're going to be like, who's that human? What if they were a criminal? Do we really need to save them? What if that person was outside the abortion clinic with a sign? Should we save them? So that's not going to work in a screenplay. But if you save a dog, it's always going to work. Always, like 100% of the time. And the reason why is just because, yeah, I mean, there you go. Naomi pets a dog. That's it. That's basically all you really need to do. I mean, it's to varying degrees, but like being kind to an animal is really, really crucial versus if you want to identify a really like a shitty character. There's an example that comes to mind, which is, what's that show about the hacker man? He's a hacker man. He's played by Freddie Mercury. Oh, God. What is that? What is that show called? He's a hacker man played by Freddie Mercury. Okay, well, you probably know what I'm talking about. Yeah, kick the dog. Yeah, the kick the dog trope. Yeah. Where the guy, he doesn't kick the dog because the dog, I mean, kicking a dog is almost like people will leave the theater if somebody kicks a dog. But what the guy does in the television show about the hacker man played by Freddie Mercury is, I mean, he's not actually played by Freddie Mercury. He's played by the actor who portrayed Freddie Mercury in a film. Rami Malek, that was his name, Rami Malek. And in one scene in the show, the guy who's kind of like the villain of the episode, he is with his own dog, right? So he's with his own dog, the bad guy is, and he like lifts the dog up by its collar, like by its leash, and everything we ever needed to know about this guy is done. We didn't need a narrator to come in and go, did you see how bad he was? He was one of those shitty guys. It's just, he lifts the dog and you're like, that guy sucks. It's a metaphor for just having the villain do something particularly horrible to help you feel that they're the villain. Yeah, exactly. Right. And so getting creative with that is a really good thing, right? So this show, for example, does a really good job because the guy lifts the dog with the leash. the protagonist sees it, and then the protagonist not only fucks that guy over the course of the episode, but he also rescues the dog. So it's like this double, triple, holy shit, wedding cake of feelings. But yeah, I mean, this is all just to kind of talk about how it's very Mr. Robot. Thank you, God, thank you. It's a pretty good show. It's a little too preachy for my taste, but it has some good writing in it. But yeah, so it's just that animals, they speak to your psyche, right? Like Pinckney Benedict, my professor in my MFA before I graduated, he has this incredible story, amazing short story about this guy who has a dog, right? And one day, it's a very short piece. One day, the dog is sitting on his, lazy boy chair or something. And the protagonist is like, hey, you get off that chair now. That's my favorite chair. You're not supposed to be on that chair. And the dog looks at him and goes, no. And it's terrifying. It's actually super duper scary how it's written. It's a freaky ass story. Like the dog says no. And then the guy's like, what? And he's so fucking weirded out by it that he's like, get down. And the dog's like, no. And the rest of the story is about the dog essentially becoming more man as the man is becoming more animal, as more beast. And then I think the dog ends up having sex with his wife or something. Yeah. It's incredibly, incredibly jarring, as Toaster said. Pinckney's an amazing writer. He is such a good writer. But yeah, that story is uncomfortable. And it speaks to another side of animals. I think that I don't even know if I could put it into words, but it speaks to another side of how animals are interacting with our consciousness, like with our, kind of our innate genetic consciousness. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a very weird story. Okay, so with that in mind, let's start with Crown and Wish. Oh, I already downloaded it. Let's go to downloads and let's go to Crown and Wish. Oh, I need to extract it. Let's extract it. Extract all here. Sorry, I thought I had extracted all of these. Time to manage some files. It'll be okay. It'll be fast. See, it's already done. Excellent. Okay. crownandwish.exe. What? Oh, I'm still, yeah. Right. There we go. crownandwish.exe. This one's short, right? This one's like pretty quick. Let's see. Should I do the tutorial? Throughout the story, you'll be allowed to come up with some theories with the clues given. Though doing so will create an automatic save. First, click the input option. We need some drop shadows down here. Type Hina. You did it. Now click the logic option. What? I did. I feel bad opening WinRAR and it keeps saying I should pay even though it's free forever. I know. Hina. Okay, back. What? Logic? Agree? Am I doing something wrong? Skip. No? Notes. Back. Prefs. Return. It always bothers me when a program does that. I mean, yeah, these things cost money, but could you not do that every time I open a zip file? Yeah, I mean, you could just do 7-zip, right? 7-zip's like the open source version, which effectively does the same thing. Yeah, it's extensive, but oh, agree. Whoa, okay. I didn't know I could drag those. Okay, all right, cool. So let's go to What? Notes, prefs, input, logic. Back. Okay, here's the plan. We're gonna quit, and then we're gonna relaunch. Oh, I didn't remember it working like that specifically. Maybe it's new. Okay, start. Chaos. So I finally meet you. I can finally talk to you. Honestly, I don't know what to say. You know, I had a place in this world. Keyword had. Sadly, due to their power, I was erased. Whose power? In the old world, I had 2 little brothers. In the new world, I have 2 brothers and a sister. Not that they'll ever know. The life they live makes me jealous, yet also happy, content. Strange, right? I know I could never be part of it. However, I don't care. I just want them to be happy along with their 2 friends, our friends. But a stronger power than the one that erased me is now looking to not erase them, but to control them. Please save them. They may not remember me. However, I don't want to be reunited like this. I don't want her to find out she's just a replacement the world made. Now you heard my pitiable story, so what will you choose? What adjustments will need be made? Night? Okay, the world unfolds and the game begins. I'm so late. Leaving the boat, Zachary crossed the beach and passed through the entrance of the school resort. Why does the school have a resort, and why couldn't the students bring their phones ourselves? This intro does a really good job of making me ask questions. Indeed it does. Yeah, this part is pretty interesting so far. Why does is it dark? No, not yet. Okay. Zachary groaned, yet he decided to attempt to strike up a conversation with the other 5 students. And I mean the good questions, the questions that make me think about the story. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering why we're talking to chaos, like, immediately. You know what I mean? Like in Hades, when you finally run into chaos after however many runs, and you're like, whew, what the hell? So you finally showed up. Why'd you take so long? Like when any other student is late to this resort turbulence. By the way, how's your relationship with Dahlia going? It's going great. Thank you for asking, said Prescott. Well, in other news, want to go on a quick jog? I was just getting ready. No. Fuck you, Prescott. Well, I've got to talk to everyone else, so... Oh, understandable. See you later. Next. Oh, hello, Zachary. Need me for some mineral examination. Huh? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think I saw a gem mine over there. Oh, good to know. Goodbye. Teehee. Hello, darling. Can I help you, Hina? Remember when you saved me? I just stopped you from falling after your shoe heel broke, and I'm grateful for that. Now how about we head inside and get a drink? How will you respond? Sure. Okay, make it quick though. That's not what I said. I said sure. Of course. Next. Thank you again for helping me get together with Prescott. No, I told Prescott to fuck off. Don't worry about it. I just encouraged him to confess. Of course, of course. He has always referenced some magical reason for meeting me. It must be fate. Have you gotten to the next level yet? Well, so when will you become official? I'm a polite guy. I thought that I was trying to date her, but I also remember who I'm talking to. Dahlia or Hina? I feel like there was 2 of them. Zachary. So when will the rest of the school learn? Dahlia. Got it. Well, that's what I thought at first too. We're hoping to reveal it next week. You know how popular he is. Yeah. Next. Hannah. My rival. What do you want to challenge me on now? Where are we? This is interesting. I'll let you choose one of the 2 options. It wouldn't be fair otherwise. Of course. What will you challenge Hannah at? Handwriting. I'm going to lose this. My handwriting is absolutely shit. Let's see. There's admittedly a lot of expository detail in this bit that kind of confuses me at moments. The Dahlia Prescott relationship is shown fairly well, though. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I kind of don't know who the protagonist is. Like, we talked to Chaos. We have that, like, cold open, right? We have the... I talked about this back on Neophyte Studios with the prologue and like what the prologue does, right? And so I get the sense that this person Oh, I forgot their name. Darklight Dev. I get the sense that Darklight Dev was intuiting the kind of like excited opening for a prologue. Challenge her at Truth or Dare. Turn this game hentai. But it's like a dream. Yeah. But I'm not getting a sense that what we're doing right now is as linked to the prologue as I think the writer wants it to be, if that makes sense. I think it's a good idea. I think that having that type of exciting prologue is going to help. It helps a lot with this kind of stuff when you need to do setup. Like, this is Zachary, this is Dahlia, this is Prescott. This is, where you have to like get people through the motions of like the boring shit, and you start with like kind of an intriguing question of like, who the fuck is Chaos and why am I talking to him or them or whomever. But usually you can kind of just tell when there's like an exciting prologue, and then there will be these kind of echoes to it in the first act. Granted, we're not that far in, so who knows? Chaos could be right around the corner. Okay, at least I finally got closer to winning. Next. Hina, everyone, come here. I found this book. This wasn't here on previous visits. What's the name of the book? The name is The Diamond Power. Apparently it's a tragedy looking over the cover. Apparently it's a tragedy, period, or a comma. Well, the name is Diamond Power, period. Apparently, comma, it's a tragedy looking over the cover. Okay. May I read the story? Of course. Once there was a girl who could grant wishes. She used her wishes to grant the happiness of others. Little did she know her wishes had an effect on the world itself. Whenever she wished, someone else would get hurt. Oh, okay. Interesting. I mean, it's definitely super creative. It's I'm reading things that I'm not expecting, which is cool. It gets more connected in some of the later scenes, which actually aren't too far away. Okay, cool. When she found this out, she promised to grant no more wishes. Over time, everyone forgot she had the power to grant wishes, even the girl herself. One day, she fell in love with someone. Unconsciously, she wished to join with him in marriage one day. The man she loved one day confessed to having feelings for her. Okay. Eventually, the pair got married just as the girl had wished. However, it was not meant to last. The man wanted a child, yet he was infertile, so the woman purposefully wished to have the man's child. Okay. The man found out about the woman's power and accepted it, not as a curse, but as a simple trait of the woman he loved. It was not meant to be, however. Both the woman and the man would die later on, leaving their child with an unwanted fortune and a cursed power. Wow. The child was named Diamond, and their power was fortune from the heavens. See, this story actually sounds kind of interesting, the one about Diamond. And that's the prologue. Wow, that was depressing. I told you. Okay, enough of this. What's for lunch? I'm starving. Period. Oh, interesting. Ugh, I can't sleep. Let's make this full screen. I can't sleep. Guess I'll go get a snack from the dining hall. What's this note? Library? Whatever. Once I finish eating, I guess I'll go get a book to read until I fall asleep. Why am I so scared? I'm just going to open the door and everything is going to be fine. Zachary let out a scream. Everyone gathered around him to see what was going on. Once they witnessed the sight, they too let out a scream. Hina, Hyro, wake up. This isn't funny. I assume that the book's story holds some connection to the larger story of this game. Yeah, I'm assuming so. I mean, that's typically what those are, right? Usually when a character is reading a story within a story, it's an allegory for the story, right? It's kind of like what's weird? One of the best versions I've ever seen of this was in Scream 3, I think. I think it was in Scream 3, where the characters held a play in the middle of the movie. And the play was the fucking story of Scream. But it was like amazing because then Scream showed up during the play. And because like all these people are in like robes, and then Scream is also there. And I was like, oh God, Scream's there. It's scary. But also I was like, this is actually really brilliant writing. Like I was actually kind of amazed by it, because it was this amazing story within a story that was an allegory for the story at large. But also the story at large was happening in the story that was the referential story at large. Like Scream was there, even though the story was about Scream being there. It was really weird. It was cool though. The story within the story is an allegory for the story as the story tells you about the story. Exactly. Yeah, it was like amazing. I was really impressed by that. One of the best versions I've seen was John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. That was a huge influence on a lot of my creativity when I started out doing visual novels. I haven't seen it, and which is weird because I really love John Carpenter. The Thing is like one of my favorite movies ever. That actually does sound like an incredibly. It is. It's super good, and like it's it's a hokey horror like slasher flick, but that particular scene stood out to me as like this is really good. Oh man, that's such an amazing movie. The Thing or assuming The Mouth of Madness is also amazing, but yeah, The Thing is like one of my favorite movies ever. Okay, Hina, Hyro, wake up. This isn't funny. Sorry to say, but they are indeed dead. We came here to get along, and who could have killed them? How are we supposed to know? Let's call the police. But we gave the teachers our phones, the same teachers who won't come for another 3 days. That means we're stuck here with a killer. Okay, so we got a kind of like a Danganronpa thing going, right? Then let's barricade ourselves and hide. In the Mouth of Madness. Yeah, okay, I'll watch it. I love John Carpenter. So it's totally in line. I can't believe I haven't seen it. The Thing, In the Mouth of Madness, and Prince of Darkness are the Carpenter Apocalypse trilogy. I see. Cool. I like any. Here's the thing. If I could have anything called the Apocalypse trilogy, I would be. I mean, how good do you have to be to have something called the Apocalypse trilogy? Nothing ever can be called the Apocalypse trilogy again. I know the dorms. Let's get there right away. I mean, the dorms do have both an auto lock, plus we have the only keys to them. Everyone raced to Zachary's assigned room, making complete sure that the door was locked. So we are playing The Thing. Of course, this wouldn't matter. But for now, everyone tried to keep the illusion of unity. See, I kind of got the vibes of this being like a battle royale thing from The Island for some reason. Oh, hello, Zachary. What do you know about spirits? You're part of the occult club, aren't you? It's funny to me. One fun example that I can think of, though it doesn't do much for actual symbolism, would be the shopkeeper stories in The Messenger. Some of the stories you can tell actually connect with the areas you're in when he tells them, and sometimes they're just little stories written for flavor. This is a game you mentioned before, right? It is a game you're referencing, The Messenger. I think you had mentioned this. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, we all have different interests. Just surprised, I thought, with how well you do in class, you'd be a member of the science club. Who says I can't be part of 2 clubs? Point taken. We'll see you later. So I'm assuming that there's like art assets missing at the moment. Oh, that's the laundry. Shit. I gotta go get that. Just another day, another pain. Hina then tripped due to her shoe heel breaking. Ah! Whoa there, you fine? No problem. My name is Hina. Cool name. What's with the broken heel? Rinzai. Oh, hello, Rinzai. Some stupid bullies, probably. Oh, well, would you like to meet Prescott? Sure. He's one of the popular boys, isn't he? Oh, don't worry, he's nice. And if you hang around someone like him, maybe the bullies will fall down that same way. Dankeschön. No problem. Kein Problem. I can't just do nothing. I guess I'll gather stories. Honestly, I feel guilty. I saw the note that led to the library, so there might have been a chance I could have stopped the killer. Time to ask. Prescott. Oh, I last saw them during the reading session. I was with Dahlia the rest of the day. Time to ask. Dahlia. Pretty sure Prescott will say the same thing if you ask him, but last time I saw the two was at the reading session. Hannah. Oh, I saw Hina in the kitchen and Hyro in the hallway. Not sure what else to tell you. So who's the killer? I know it's not me. I sure hope the killer is not in our group. Stay away from me. I'm sorry. We can talk about this. Talk. Our relationship was built on a lie. I still love you. Well, apparently never did. I never did. Dahlia ran to the door crying. Wait, Dahlia, you might die out there. So be it. The butler did indeed do it. That dastardly fucking Tim Curry. So be it. Oh my God, that was loud. Holy shit. That was super loud. Hang on. If that's going to happen again, we need to turn this the fuck down. Dahlia slammed the door behind her. What's going on? This is my mess. I have to fix this. Oh, God, I'm so glad I turned it down. Prescott followed suit, wanting to protect Dahlia, no matter what the cost. I thought there was a fucking gunshot. It scared the shit out of, like, outside. Uh, Wanted to protect Dahlia no matter what the cost. What do we do? 2 of our friends just died and another 2 might join them. Plus there's a killer on the loose. We have to follow them quickly. No need to tell me twice. So it's again kind of that anime writing, you know what I mean? Where they're like, there's a killer on the loose even though we already know that. So I just find that so interesting. It's such an interesting, like, linguistic anomaly, you know, it's because it's so goddamn consistent in visual novels that they're written like anime, and the anime is written like that. Like, why are these things all, you know, I mean, this one isn't in first person, which I think is kind of interesting. No need to tell me twice. There's one last place we haven't checked, the dining hall. They're strong, capable people. I'm sure, no, I know that they're all still alive. There's a killer on the road. One way to find out. The room they ate. I don't know why the killer on the road made me laugh. And it's me. Ho ho. The room they ate lunch and dinner in was dark. It was eerily so. Yeah, you were right. Like always, we'd probably miss them. You got to be sure that the readers don't forget what they read a few lines ago. Apparently so. Like, I mean, maybe it's like a written for the age group thing. You know what I mean? It's so goddamn consistent that the characters all do it. They all announce the exact information that all the characters know. And I'm not talking shit about this game. This is like in, you know, AAA fucking, you know, this is in Attack on Titan. You know what I mean? Like, this is, it's everywhere. That's why I find it interesting, because there has to be some reasoning behind it that I don't understand. Jim Morrison was my cousin. Really? Zachary then flicked on the light switch. No, it can't be. At the back of the room with their hands joined in death were the corpses of Prescott and Dahlia. Motherfucker. It's not very Western. Yeah, it's not very Western. It's true. But I wonder why. I guess that's it, because we are kind of honing in on it, right? Like, I think that visual novels are very, very, like, a lot of them come from Japan. A lot of the visual novel writers read visual novels. They learn, they're influenced by the visual novels they read. Those visual novels are written like this, right? But why do the Japanese write like that, I guess? Because ultimately, I think that that's kind of the answer, right? Anime and visual novels primarily come from Japan, or at least did. And they're written in this style of this, like, expository, extremely expository style, which is not always the case in all Japanese media. Like, I've seen Japanese films that don't do this at all. You know what I mean? Like, in Kurosawa films, nobody's like, you have to train to be a samurai in order to be better at being a samurai, which means you need to take that sword and then practice with it. You know what I mean? Like, they don't talk like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. It's just an interesting thing. Honestly, I don't know why it's so common. I mean, sure, people can be forgetful, but writers don't really tend to write that way, at least not to my knowledge. No, I don't think so. I think they don't want you to presume. Yeah. When I write in that style, somehow my entire brain cell just automatically configures to it completely. There's no escaping the anime writing. I mean, you didn't write like that even remotely in yours. So don't say you did, because you didn't. Maybe you do in other stuff, but not in that. Zachary, still in disbelief, went over to feel the pulses of the 2 victims. And other stories, I see. Okay. Yo, you wanted an exposition in your visual novel, so I put an exposition in your visual novel. Exactly. I'm going to exposit the expository information. They're dead, of course. They're dead, of course. Okay. Prescott, you're so dumb. Oh, totally. That's why I love you, though. You're not mad? I mean, I did wish for you to love me. Oh, no, I'm still mad, but what? I'm confused. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized it could have been a coincidence. Yeah, but the most wonderful year we had, it could have been an altered reality. Okay, so I'm going to start clicking a little faster because I know what's happening. So they're talking. And I don't expect there to be incredibly pertinent information in every conversation. I'm sorry. Last year's school, mother's farm. We have so many games we got to do. We have so many games we have to play. Oh, that's right, your dad's. It doesn't matter. After all, you accepted me. In the name, Lord, will you be my wife? Of course. Okay, so are we in the past or the future? In the 10 seconds that went on, it felt like an eternity. I had left for the 2 remaining. Zachary felt a stab through his back? What? There was only one person who could have killed him. Zachary knew that his trust was betrayed by Hannah. I am sorry. No matter the current ending, it was an ending. Despite what it may seem, this tale wasn't important to tell. Let us read Hannah's final words. I'm sorry. By the time you have read this, I will have been killed. I have committed a sin that cannot be forgiven. I'm sorry to ask, despite that, to you who have found this message, please find the truth I was unable to. That is all I want. Please let me and my friends sleep in peace. Ash to ashes, dust to dust. An ending has been received. Ending 1. Interesting. I think I'm gonna have to collect my thoughts about that for a second while I go grab laundry. So I will be right, but the beeping is driving me insane. I have to set my alarm clock for 10:45 a.m. so that I can watch Dylan's stream. But he's going to stream at 10:30, and now I'm here, and he's part of the way into this visual novel, and I'm glad it's not mine. But he's talking about exposition in anime, and I love anime, so now I'm nervous. Admittedly, significant volumes of exposition are a major writing technique in a lot of media, regardless of the hemisphere. Absolutely. Think about all the blocks of text in old comic books. Those were initially implemented in the Marvel books to allow Stan Lee to implement more of his writing talents in said books. Yeah, totally. I mean, like I said, I don't think that this is I don't think that this is a bad thing. It's not something I enjoy because it just kind of stands out to me as like, it's like, yeah, I know. I know there's a murder. You don't need to tell me. But I do understand that it is a style that is so heavily entrenched that there has to be some reasoning behind it, right? And so therefore I get it. Like I understand that people do it, and I understand that people enjoy reading it, right? Mine isn't so much like that as it uses sarcastic observation by the protagonist and the occasional cliche info dump by the antagonist. Yeah, I mean, it's all depending on how you use it, right? I noticed it in Ghost in the Shell because of all the politics they had to explain. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, you can have characters do this. You can absolutely have characters exposit, right? But the thing that I find the most interesting and I guess, like, egregious to my own personal senses is, like, the repetition of it, right? Like, it's one thing to have 2 characters explain the political system of a city, which I think can be done better than saying, like, the Zaibatsu Kurosawa Corp, right? They make all the robots. What are you, dumb? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, clearly she does know, and you're just kind of saying it to the audience. But that is like a step above the, like, we have to hide in the room because there's a murderer on the loose. And then you hide in the room and the door closes, and then somebody knocks on it and they're like, don't open that door. There's a murderer on the loose. It's like, yeah, that's the thing that I find interesting, right? Is that particular linkage. I admittedly don't enjoy it either, but it's not an explicitly bad. Yeah, exactly. It's not an explicitly bad thing. It's just like can you tell me why? Can you tell me why it is the case? You know what I mean? Like to the writers who write it, can you tell me why it is the case? I.e. having it naturally come up in conversation. Yeah, right. And once again, I want to re-stress that I really don't like when characters, right before I go get laundry, that I really don't like when characters go, well, you know, the mega corporation, Zaibatsu Corp, don't you? Yeah, they make all the robots in all the cities, and the cities are destroyed. Don't you remember? And it's like, uh-huh. Thanks for telling me that, writer. Appreciate it. You could have just done it visually. You know what I mean? Like think about this while I go downstairs. Think about Blade Runner 2049 and the amount of storytelling that movie does purely through visuals, right? Like, you know, everything about that world purely from the visuals, and none of the characters ever need to say anything. They don't ever say, well, you remember the android war in 2020, don't you? That's what brought all this mess upon us. That's why there's all these replicants running around. It's like, yeah. Thank you, Denny. Thank you. Okay, I'll be right back. Shut up. What are you doing? Barking. Fucking scared the shit out of me with that bark. That's why I said shut up. I don't know if you heard me say shut up, but I said shut up. It scared me. I didn't know he was there. He was like standing in the dark, and as I walked by, he barked. It was weird. He looked so pissed too. He was like pissed that I was leaving. Let's see. Visual novel storytelling is a very powerful technique, but making the visual assets for that is far more expensive and difficult than simply writing the details. Yeah, absolutely. Admittedly, when I try to write VNs, I just slip into the writing style unconsciously. Yeah, so it's a style, right? Like it's a style. It's a stylistic thing. Thank you. I'm glad to be back. Let's see. He's a scary dog. He's about this big. But he's scary. Don't leave the room. Yeah, it was weird. He never does that. He like never barks when I leave. I've never seen him do that before. Okay, so let's so we did Crown and Wish. So the thoughts on it are, it's a visual novel, and the setup is interesting. It was kind of I mean, I would like to see it. Obviously, this is like a huge work in progress, but like I didn't see literally any interactivity, and I think it's because of like whatever I chose. I don't remember feeling like I made a decision that had any impact. You know what I mean? But I got the sense that like it has an interesting setup, but it's hurt by how little there is so far. Yeah, right. I mean, which is fine. Like they're game jam games. These are all works in progress. And I think it would be a hell of a lot more interesting to have the art assets in place, which I'm sure that, you know, he intends to have, or they intend to have them. So yeah, there's a lot of subtext in Evangelion. Evangelion is actually quite good. That was one that I enjoyed. Actually, I think it's to date the only anime I ever finished. Partially because it's 11 episodes. So that helped, or whatever, 26. I don't remember. I wasn't able to find an alternate ending or anything like that in that route. Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't feel like there was 26. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's 26, not 900, which helped. But yeah, it's quite a good show. What was I going to say? Well, let's move on to the next game. I think that I do think that Crown and Wish Has an interesting setup. I think that you're always innately going to have an interesting setup when you have a bunch of people and one of them, it's a mystery story where the character needs to figure out who the murderer is before the murderer gets them, right? And that's a pretty classic narrative structure, right? It's like a monster among you structure, like The Thing. Like, I mean, that is The Thing. Where the monster could be and look like anyone or anything. And that's why it makes it so damn scary, right? Because it could be your friends. It could be your, Rankin Moon, identified rodent. Thank you for the follow. I noticed that 1 hour ago. So yeah, it's just it's an interesting setup. I'd like to see it when it has more stuff to it. It has interesting ideas and intrigue. It just needs more actual narrative material. Yes, I agree completely. Okay, so now let's do this one because I'm pretty sure this person didn't join, and we don't need to spend a ton of time on it, but it did get the most compelling narrative. I'm saying I don't think they joined the Discord, so it's very likely they aren't here. And it's a lot of typing, which I don't think works very well for my stream because my keyboard is like astoundingly loud. So we might not be able to play very much of this one anyway. The thing really pushes a sense of dread and paranoia in a confined space. It is awesome.
Establishing connection with Spaceport Security Outpost Beta 07 for psychological evaluation. Please note, as per Psychological Operations Policy 6C,
you actually don't type in this one. Oh, I thought you did.
Responses generated by my psychoanalytic processing.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Processing depth is set to 2.
You just select the dialogue options.
Security Outpost Beta 07 established.
Yeah, the background is very very mood setting. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, hey doc, don't tell me another goddamn psych eval. Didn't I just do one 6 rotations ago? By the way, did anybody see that new sci-fi kind of RPG game called, I think, Encased? I got it. I bought it. It was like $20. It was super cheap, but God, it looks really cool. I started it and I was like, I'm home. This is great. For some reason, this background reminds me of Freelancer. Totally. I love Freelancer. Unfortunately, I haven't. Yeah, it's really cool. It's on Steam. I believe it's called Encased. And it's a really interesting sci-fi, like CRPG, like capital C RPG, akin to, Planescape and Fallout and those games. We just wanted to make sure you're okay over there. Never better, according to the lab codes. Okay, Toaster, this reminds me of your game, just so you know. Your game where you are talking to the robot, or you're telling the robot what to tell the prisoner. Be right back. Okay, sounds good. Never better, according to the lab codes back on Earth. I'm still lucky to be alive. In fact, I'm the first outpost ever to survive an attack this far out in space and to live to tell the tale. Okay, Doc, let's get this over with. Go ahead, shoot. Why did you... Fair enough, I can see the resemblance. Yeah, it feels quite similar. This is a really cool... I don't know if it really means anything, but man, it's really moody. It's cool. When did you first realize you were going to be attacked? About 12 hours before. In the middle of the night, I woke up to an alarm going off in the command module. What kind of alarm? It's a graphic that's there to add to the vibe, totally. Yeah, it's just kind of like Space AI Corp console, and there's like these words kind of floating around, and you're communicating. It feels very much like you're communicating through a machine, right? This is almost like a representation of its brain. What? Oh, I knew that it was the moment I heard it. I scrambled from my bunk and climbed the ladder to the command module and confirmed it on the console readouts. Critical system failure. What could have caused it? This small practice prototype is my first attempt at interactive fiction, so be warned, it's really short and may not even qualify as interactive fiction by those who actually know what they're doing. No idea. Systems failure shouldn't happen. The redundancies have redundancies. In order for something to go wrong, an alarm has to be out, and a backup and 24 other random breakdowns have to strike all at the same time, plus a host of coincidences too mind-boggling to calculate. What did you do next? Oh, you gotta go? Okay, see you later, Two Links. Have fun in class. What we're trained to do when any $1 trillion piece of equipment breaks down. I unplugged everything, counted to 10, then plugged it all back in. Space Corp would be proud of my efforts and ingenuity, right? All that training for that. But what else was I going to do? Did it work? I'm still standing, aren't I? Well, it takes a while for everything to reboot, so while I waited, I put in a quick note to Space Corp. Even though I was sure they would already be getting an auto relay with error codes out the wazoo, but at least they would know I was up, right? Their man on the scene. What did they say? Did the reboot work? Did the reboot work? I want to know if the reboot worked. I keep accidentally sending incomplete messages. Not quite. As the reboot completed, there was a message from Space Corp, but just as I got the screen to read it, the alarms went off again, screaming at me. System failure a second time. After a hard reboot. Did you have any idea what could have caused the second failure? It seemed so unlikely that I assumed the station was still glitching from the reboot. The impossibility of a second system failure was still banging against my skull when I finally read the message from Space Corp. I couldn't believe what it had said. Warning, unidentified life signature detected. Connection lost. You've reached the end of the story branch. Hit restart to explore alternate story paths. Interesting. So it's kind of like maybe I'm talking to an alien? Is that possible? Is that kind of like, that was kind of the vibe I got. I feel like anytime an alien is mentioned in a narrative, I feel like I might have actually been talking to that alien. Or that the alien might have been the thing I was talking to. Unless it's Arrival, of course. Then it's just an amazing movie. Not that this is not really cool, but yeah, this is really cool. And I think what it brings up a question in my mind, which is, I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting setup. I think that the interactivity is interesting, right? Where you're talking to the computer and you're talking to the guy, and the guy is kind of telling you a story, right? So you're collecting a report. So it's like an epistolary novel or an epistolary story, kind of. And just for those who aren't aware of this, an epistolary story is one which is told through letters, right? It's actually how novels used to have to be written, because people didn't buy it. People didn't buy they were like, what the fuck, this novel? What is that shit? That doesn't make any sense. It's a big ass story. What are you doing? But so there used to have to be an explanation to the reader as to why the thing existed as it did, right? So in a lot of older novels, you open it and it'll be like, this is the story of this is my story. This is my journal. I wrote it on the seven seas while I was looking for the white whale. You know what I mean? Or it's like this story is a series of letters that were collected, and it was kind of giving a justification for the story's existence, right? The story stories didn't have the confidence of their own existence that they do now. And so, back in the good old days, the stories would have to justify themselves through some kind of real world explanation for why the pages contain story. Does that make sense? Something I really like about this game. Okay, wait. The UI in this is really neat and adds to the overall feel. Totally, I completely agree. I think it's a great design for what it wants to do. Something I really like about this game is that the route where you ask the guy about himself adds a fair amount of texture to his situation, and it helps the scenario to be more full. Totally, yeah. Like I definitely get a visual sense of, what's going on. Like this picture helps an absolute shitload. I think this picture is carrying more weight than we might even be thinking it is. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Bram Stoker's Dracula is an epistolary story, like literally. So, because at the time that wasn't going to work, so they needed to have a justification for why the story existed, right? And the thing that I find interesting about it is that I get the exact same sense from game fiction right now. Not just this, all game fiction. I get the sense that we're in the we're in the phase of the justification for the narrative existence in game fiction. Yeah, Lovecraft used it all the time. Yeah, I mean it's ridiculously common in older fiction. That's why it has a name, right? Like epistolary fiction is this, and there's a dearth of options to look at. And it was just very common. It was a very common thing to use to frame your idea around the story, right? Yeah, frame stories are kind of like that. Although usually a frame story can be a little bit more confident in it because it's especially a lot of modern frame stories. The frame is like a guy he just sat down to give an interview, and then it goes back and he's a kid in a boat or whatever, right? Or he tells the story of the kid in the boat and Life of Pi. So yeah, in that sense, I guess the frame story is almost like a slightly updated version of the epistolary story, because the epistolary story is kind of like it's pretty hard line, like this is a letter, or these are news clippings from, so yeah, because the thing that I find interesting is that I get the sense that this game doesn't have quite enough confidence as to figure out how to portray the interstitial things between dialogue, right? Like the dialogue itself is good, and I think that the structure is interesting and the story is interesting for the most part. Like it's interesting to click buttons and receive responses from the guy, and I like the little pings, and that's all very tactile and feels nice, right? But it's literally all dialogue. The whole story is dialogue. There's nothing else. Like that's why I said that this picture does like this picture and the floaty words do much more for the story than I think we even are giving them credit for. Because there's not a lot of, there's almost no, I mean, there is literally no description of anything. And it's something that I find endlessly difficult in game writing, because it's not, once again, it's not just this game. It's like games, like big games, like Divinity, you know what I mean? Where like in Divinity, well, no, Divinity is not a super great example, but I loved the narrator in Divinity. He's like my favorite character. It's like by far my favorite character in Divinity Original Sin 2. Because he gave so much more depth to the visual, like my visual calculus of the world than anything. Because like the characters kind of just stand there, because they're character models and that's what they do. And then in the text boxes, he's like, she snarls at you, winking. And you're like, what? She snarled at me, winking? And and I think the reason why that worked so goddamn well in that game is because the game just has immense confidence in itself, and has immense confidence in its writing, where like it has no issues with having a narrator describe things that aren't taking place necessarily in the game. And this isn't the only game that does it. There's a ton of games that do it, but like I just wonder how what are the other ways that we're going to be able to insert some of this stuff? Because like, I think that the video game narratives are ultimately hindered by this problem right now, that they can't seem to get more of the stuff, especially when they're like low budget games where they don't have like a ton of, they can't really go high fidelity. They can't really go like hyper detail. They don't have enough programmers. They don't have enough modelers, that kind of thing. So like how do we get more creative ways of doing this? Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answer to this question, because in my game, the game that I made, I just had a narrator. But the narrator only comes in about an hour into the game, because that was when I started writing the narrator. That was when I was like, fuck it, I give up. I'm making a narrator. And so, yeah, there's no narrator until like way later. Okay, so I think this is cool. I think this is interesting. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Like it's we could go back and play it again, and we'll probably get a similar answer, or like a slightly more interesting, like maybe like maybe there was an alien the whole time. Like we might get more information in that regard. In my opinion, I think that you could probably just. I'm not entirely sure how much I like the idea of like, well, you should replay the game again so you can get the other third of the story. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just not particularly my sense. I wasn't able to get a second ending of any sort of alternative ending. Fair enough. Okay. So, I mean, it's literally called interactive fiction practice. So I would imagine that it's probably just not quite there. But I mean, the writing itself was good. Like the dialogue was good. So I'm happy about that. Oh, I downloaded this. Okay. Gamel song. Extract all. How are we doing on time? Oh my god, I've already been live for an hour? Holy shit. That's insanity. All the Gamel song. All the Gamel song day. Never mind. That joke was terrible. I don't even know what I was going for. Okay. Play gamelsong.exe. This one was a ton of fun. Woo! Sounds. Oh. I don't know what it is about when I launch a new game on this computer, but they're always so fucking loud. Okay. There's one thing I know about Rinzai, is I'm going to laugh, and I'm going to be confused. New quest. Halvard the Unmoved. Ours is an age of decay. Halvard the Unmoved, thankfully. Oh, and I'm also going to be like, damn, those are really interesting things. Decibels, get back. Thankfully, those of us who have yet to rot will remember that it's not the first age of its kind. I get this sense every time I play a Rinzai Geigen game that the dude is unbelievably prolific. He just writes so goddamn much. You know those people? Like, I just get that sense from anything I read by him or them that, hot damn, this person writes an absolutely metric fuckload of writing. Just tons of it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in a good way. Like way more than me. And the style is very elegant. Practiced, right? Halvard the Unmoved. As surely as the earth beneath our feet has yet to crumble, so it is that nature has yet to yield. Though the heavens may crumble overhead and rain hellfire upon our fields, we shall remain rooted. There always are three breeds in times like these. As we withstand the reign of terror, we come to fruition, and you know us by our fruits. Okay, so is this like a thing from a book, or is this your writing, Rinzai? Are you there? Yeah, you're there. Okay, I saw. What gets to me about how distinct Rinzai's style is, totally. When you read something written by Rinzai, you know it's Rinzai. Dude, all of it is Rinzai. Like the art, you're like, that's Rinzai art. Like the chicken gun, Rinzai. Yeah, it's a very unique style. It's very unique. It's very standout. And it's you that wrote it? Damn, this is good prose, dude. As we withstand the reign of terror, we come to fruition, and you know us by our fruits. It's very biblical sounding, which I'm assuming is meant to be. There are those who profess it ought to be this way, for even as our standards topple, they are armed, and they are watered by the storm of ashes that aim to devour us. Some of them would gild these evils in the husks of long since rusted goods. I kind of feel like I'm talking to a Dark Souls NPC at the moment. Their optimism makes such mockery of justice that they make the cynics almost seem devout. Then there are the apathetic and the ambivalent, who trade their souls for false entitlements and mock the heroes from the sidelines, placing bets and gambling this world. I like the confidence of just this capital W world. Then there are the golden ones, the noble sons of warriors, who have not in their blood betrayal their people. Who have not in their blood betrayal to their people. Okay, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's just for some reason that's fucking with my head. For whom their nation's honor is the only lifeblood. Of those who stand against the evils of a fallen age, some blame their neighbors, others shouldering the shame themselves. Yet if one may be one of these, one must be both, for only For only those who live to serve their state are free to judge. For only they who remember what their ancient purpose is, therefore go forth, my sons, and make me proud and please the elders who have fallen, that you may yet share their drinking horns when you have followed them beyond. May your axes sing the praises of our people, that each would swing the enemies of honor, hear the tolling of their bells. I felt as though I was speaking to some Vikings or Klingons, and send those wicked fiends to lesser fates. The Vikings' interpretation does fit the visual design and a couple of details within. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, seeing some of those. Help, someone help me. Oh boy, here's a Rinzai. Spider, silence yourself, little moth. No one hears or cares about your feeble buzzing. Quapla! For what am I now? Being punished, heartless fiend. For flying too close to the sun and too far into darkness. Xanthopan, I must be some useless fool to you. Not useless. Soon enough we'll feast upon your flesh, and then you shall be paid for your infractions. Help! Somebody liberate me from this bondage. We are all by one web bound. You call for aid in utter vain. What's that? I hear somebody coming. I do too. Who can it be? Say not that it is the goblins. Say not that it is goblins. Man, I am saved. Halt, foul insect. Call it not by such a dignity, my brother. Its legs are many and its virtues few. This is some joke. They are but dwarves. Then I am truly lost. No, you are found. Now let me loot in peace. Brandish your axe, Sven. Let us cut this monstrous octopod to pieces. I am armed. Then, by the name of Halvard the Unmoved, we strike. Am I in control? Or... There's control? This is first? I like the art, by the way. This is a first. Have I ever had control in a Rinzai game? I don't think so. Oh. What in the goddamn fuck? Swing Stig's axe. Leg 8. Dude. Rinzai, you do the most interesting things. It's so strange. Wrath of Wood, and I made this. Oh, Wrath of Wood, okay. Yellow. Oh, shit, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, blue, indigo, violet. I'm sure I got it wrong. Spider leg 8 takes 2 damage. Sven is aiming at a leg. Sven swings axe. Spider leg 1 takes 4 damage. I like the sound effects when you get it all right. I have to actually pay attention. Spider attacks, spider bites. Stig takes 3 damage. Instructs Sven. Swings Sven's axe. Leg 7. Blue, green, red, blue. Blue, green, red, blue. Blue, green, red, blue. Takes 7 damage. Get fucked, spider leg. Stig is now covered in web. Instructs Sven. Swings Sven's axe. Leg 6. Oh, purple, red, purple, 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 red, purple, purple. Purple. Red. Purple, purple. Bam, take that, spider. I actually kind of like this as part of a... it's kind of an interesting way of making a turn-based combat, like, slightly more engaging, rather than kind of just like, attack, overdrive, attack. You know what I mean? I kind of like the slight memory game to it. Spider attacks, spider bites. Sven takes 3 damage. Free self. Stig cuts the web. Stig is now free. Sven is aiming at a leg. Sven throws axe. Spider hit with axe. Axe got lodged into the cavern wall. Fucking goddamn it, Sven. Wood enjoyed implementing it. Cool. Spider leg 8 takes 6 damage. Spider leg 8 falls off. I'm always down for a more interactive combat system. Absolutely. The more interactive, the better, says the fighting game player. Spider attacks. Spider spits its web. Miss. Swing. Leg 5. Purple, green, blue, orange. Purple, green, blue, orange. Purple, green, blue, orange. Rigbo. Spider hit with the axe. Axe got lodged into the cavern wall. What? I was right. Spider leg takes 2 damage. Sven fails to collect the axes. Spider attacks. Spider bites. Sven takes 4 damage. Swing sticks axe. Oh shit. Red, yellow, green, yellow, blue. Red, yellow, green, blue. Shit. Spider leg 5 takes 4 damage. Sven fails to collect the axes. God damn it, Sven. Spider attacks. Miss. Instructs Sven. Pick up axes. Axes returned. Spider attacks. Spider bites. Stick takes 4 damage. Swing sticks axe. Oh, orange, red, purple, green. Orange, red, purple, green. Orange, red, purple, green. I love that sound effect. Indigo was the last one. Ah, shit. Aiming at a leg. Sven swings axe. 2 to 5 damage. Spider attacks. Miss. Swing. 7. Orange, blue. Orange, indigo. No. Shit. I thought it was blue. Spider legs take 3 damage, but 7 falls off. Okay, it doesn't even matter. Sven is aiming at a leg. Sven swings axe. Spider leg 1 takes 7 damage. Fuck yeah. Miss. I also like that we're attacking the legs. I don't know. It's just kind of cool. It's kind of creepy. Yellow, orange, blue, red. Yellow, orange, blue, red. Yellow, orange, blue, red. 7 damage. Falls off. It's fit. It would be really cool. See, this is another thing. Here's another really good example of this. Is like, it would be cool to have more of, like, I like the visuals that we have here representing the things, right? Like, I love that the actual legs are vanishing from the spider as we're doing the damage to it. And I love that the axes are going away as well. I think that's really cool. But, like, I am imagining this spider fight, and I wish I could imagine it just a little bit more. And to have a couple of lines, just a few, just a couple of little, a couple of physical descriptions of what's going on. Like, the spider careens into the wall of the interior of the cavern, and its bulbous hairy thorax or whatever that thing's called jiggles with the motion as like dripping fucking silk seeps from its orifice, like, just not exposition. That's the opposite of exposition. That's description. Exposition is spider leg takes 7 damage. That's exposition. The spider angrily screeches, one of its legs shattered. Like, that's the that's the kind of thing that I think would just like rocket this shit to the next level. You know what I mean? Like, just having that extra side, that extra tool in the toolbox to be able to utilize that side of our reading brains would be so cool for me. But it's not a requirement. I'll consider it for future installments. Yeah, totally. I mean, like I said, it's your game. You can do what you want to do. And I know that, like, this is a very uncommon thing that I'm suggesting in games. Like, almost no games do this, right? Most games that have this kind of turn-based combat system, it's like they run up and they hit them with the thing, and then there's like a small explosion sound and like 65 damage. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very normal, very entrenched, very, very tried and true thing. But I want to, in some point in the future, I want to see that kind of thing. You know what I mean? In some game where because like there's a really common thing in fiction where you don't say like he let off a volley of shots at the enemy, right? It's if you want it to have impact, you say he shot once, the bullet lodged in a car door. He shot again, a branch of a tree snapped off and crashed to the ground. He shot a third time. A mirror shattered next to the person's head, right? Like, it's that action, reaction, action, reaction, action, reaction. And that's how you do it in fiction, right? You don't do like he shot 3 times. You do that action, reaction, and you have a description for both if you can, right? So like, I mean, it's more important to have the reaction description than it is to have the action description in this particular circumstance, like the gun circumstance. But yeah, that's like yeah, you do have license now. Yeah, totally. I grant you the license to kill. A lot of games just have the visuals do the work. Totally. I mean, it's a visual medium, right? It's a visual interactive medium. But even in games like Final Fantasy, like the older ones where Cloud would run up and hit the sword and it says Cloud did 65 damage, I'd be like, and you see, the bad guy go, "Urgh," and then there's like a explosion sound effect. I would love, even when I was a kid, I thought this, I would love to have a description of what actually happened. Right? Rather than just the sword hitting the guy and there's an explosion and a little sound effect. I would love to know, like, how did the sword hit him? Like, did it lodge in? Because I know that it's all kind of a representation of things that are not actually happening, right? So, like, Cloud swinging the sword and doing 65 damage. Well, more likely he probably, like, cleaved off, like, just a short section of his arm or something, right? Or like broke a piece of his armor and his shoulder hurts, and I just wished that there was those little descriptions were there in those games, not just in this, and just something that just came to my mind. Got lodged in cavern wall. Spider leg 3 takes 8 damage. Spider leg 3 falls off. Spider attacks. Spider bites. Spider takes 4 damage. 3 legs left. Spider runs. Get fucked, Spider. Yep, similar to a good GM of a tabletop RPG. Yeah, okay. So let me go. It'll let the viewers see what happens, then inform them of what they aren't actually able to see. Yes, yeah. Right, yeah, like a GM, like a Dungeons and Dragons type thing. Yeah, it flees. I'll after it. Come back, you leech. Oh, wait, Sven. You rushed too far ahead of our purpose. I love the animations. Wait here, fair lady. We shall set you free in time. I'll do my best to wiggle not a muscle. Yep, gotta leave her. Gotta go find Sven. That goddamn fuck up Sven. Okay, I can't go that way. This is probably super loud. Oh, what's that? Consume and recover 5 health points. Yes. I assume. I assume I took damage. Uh-oh. Offspring, you shall not be set toe beyond this point. Swing axe. Purple, blue, orange, blue. Purple, blue, orange, blue. No. Purple. Indigo. Orange. Indigo. Apparently, I can't tell the difference between those two colors. Takes 7 damage. Is planning its next move. Climbs up. Throw axe. Purple, orange, purple, orange, purple, orange, purple, orange. Where's purple? Oh yeah, violet. Purple, orange, purple, orange. 8 damage. Spider killed. I like that the spider actually crawled up on the wall. That was really cool. One small tip, you can click to move as well. Oh god, really? Oh, and it's super fast too. Sure. Why not? Can I? Oh, dang. I was hoping the pathfinding I could cheese the pathfinding. I could cheese the maze with the pathfinding. It doesn't work though. Thank you for making this fast, by the way. Sure. Why not? I'm assuming that I'm not doing the right thing. Oh, spider. Our nest must not be invaded. Swing axe. Red, yellow, indigo, red. red, yellow, indigo, red. I'll think wood for you. Takes 7 damage. Spider Baby is planning its next move. Spider Baby strikes with its poisonous fangs. Stig resists to the poison. Goddamn right. Swing axe. Red, blue, indigo, red, red, blue, indigo, red. Red, blue, indigo, red. Again, while this game is light on narrative, it hooks you in. It's cool. I really like the characters. I really like Sven and Stig. They're just fun. And I mean, the style really lends itself to it, right? It kind of reminds me of oh, what the hell is that book called by Neil Gaiman? It's Neil Gaiman's rewriting of Norse mythology, where like it just kind of leaves out a lot of details, but the story is fun anyway because the characters are silly. I like the subtle comical nuances. Yeah, totally. I mean, that's very Rinzai. Oh, spider. We'd sooner die than let you desecrate our sanctum. Swing axe. Red, yellow, blue, blue, red, yellow, blue, blue, red, yellow, blue, blue. The dialogue in Rinzai's games always sparkle. Absolutely, they do. Spider Baby is planning its next move. Spider Baby strikes its poisonous fangs. Stig is poisoned and takes 2 damage. Fuck. Stig is feeling the effects of venom. Stig takes 2 damage from spider venom. Swing axe. Violet, green, violet, 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 green, violet, violet. Spider Baby takes 7 damage. Spider Baby killed. Oh, click. So much. He's a fucking hauling ass. Turn back now or taste my pincers. Red, yellow, orange, violet. Red, yellow, orange, violet. You wasted your potions at max health. Wrath of Wood and I had a disagreement about that design element. Oh, really? Shit. I had a feeling I did. Spider Baby poisonous fangs. Resist the poison. Red, blue, indigo, orange. Red, blue, indigo, orange. Red, blue, indigo, orange. It's a haul ass. Ah, shit. Leave our kin in peace, you biped. Swing axe. Blue, indigo, orange, green. Blue, indigo, orange, green. Blue, indigo, orange, green. You can save game if you start dying. Okay. Swing axe. Blue, green, green, indigo, blue, green, green, indigo, blue. Oh, shit. Can I go back? Ah, shit. Damn it. Oh, cool. It died anyway. No big deal. No problem. Okay. God, these motherfucking spiders. You worm shall never see the light of day again. Swing axe. This fucking Sven. Violet, green, indigo, red. Violet, green, indigo, red. Violet, green, indigo, red. It's not a big worry in the end. You don't end up needing them on the way back, so there's a nice resource if you end up needing them along the way. If you don't need them, however, then you don't lose out. We'll have to transfer to single click instead of double click, just to cut down on the clicking. Swing axe. Blue, yellow, indigo, indigo, blue, yellow, indigo, indigo, blue, yellow, indigo, indigo. Spider Baby takes 8 damage. Spider killed. It's single click. Oh, you mean for the game, or the like mini game, the mini combat game? Oh no, there's another cave room. Fuck. Oh, come on, Stig. What are you doing? Oh, I found him. That is it. I've had it with these goddamn spiders in this motherfucking cave. Okay, you still have you have no longer legs to stand on. You will be disarmed. Not yet, not today. You have outnumbered me. Yet you outnumbered us. We merely got the upper hand by putting our feet forward. How can 4 legs conquer 8? With arms that work in unison unknown to fickle webs. Hark! I hear somebody coming. They are marching in procession like a line of drums. Hide yourself, we're not alone. It's not difficult to impersonate someone's voice in text. No. What say you, Spartacus? I say, count 8 legs too few upon this carcass. Then it seems that we are not the first to come here. You are not, and neither are you first to come here uninvited too. The carcass speaks. This is like exactly how I would imagine a fantasy story told by Rinzai Geigen. Like exactly. It's like weird and funny, but like a little creepy. Just like a little bit creepy. Let's see. Let not the dead speak for the living, says the way of Narcissus. Narcissus would think us foolish, surely, not to be the first to find this cave. Then burn the evidence that no one will remember that we came here second. Let us flee before those goblins see us. Like the goblins are just like, they're funny, but they're a little creepy. Like if I saw those things right over there, I'd be a little weirded out. What an agony has now befallen that repugnant wretch. Keep on the road before us, don't look back except towards our goal. Are we about done with this one, by the way? I kind of felt like we were coming to an end here, just based on like intuition of narrative. I'm armed against the spider's offspring. Yeah, I figured. But they do not come. I fear they won't. What's left of them I had to clear to reach you. See. If that's so, their trophies may be free to plunder. Would you take that path as goblins light the trail? I would not report. I backed away in fear. Then make your plunder quick and meet me smartly near the entrance. I am off to set the maiden free. The dialogue is just awesome. It's so silly and fun. As I have promised I shall do. As I have promised I have not moved, though I'll be moved quite soon. Diddle-diddle-diddle-doo. Well, that's the last time that I'm making a gig from the goblins. Way not to leave a girl in the lunch. It was never my duty to refuse. You probably want some kind of reward now, huh? I dare not hold a lady in debt for her freedom. Here, goblin currency is all I can spare. I know you probably can't spend it. Maybe you can melt it down. Geld. That's German for money. See you about, shortcake. Bye. Is that what rescuing a princess is supposed to feel like? Yes. I just feel a little odd. Such is puberty. The writing is engaging just to read. That's another great feat. Yeah. Yep. That's something I still struggle with, honestly. Because I tend to write too quickly. Such as puberty. Well, let's head back to father then. Yes, let us go. I feel like I made the wrong choice in the end. I think I should have gone with I feel it too. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Hello, HXC Sasquatch. Yeah, I would love to see another one of these. Even like a different one, Like I like that it's a self-contained narrative, right? I started it, I played it, and I got to the end, and it was a complete bitteschön. It was a complete narrative. That was silly and fun to read, and I don't mean silly in a bad way. I mean I genuinely like silly in a great way. Like it made me laugh and I enjoyed it, right? But it was also in that classic sense of Rinzai, very like, this is funny, but it's also, for some reason, I can't quite place it. It's a little creepy, There's a lot of discordance. There's discordant tones. There's discordant imagery, It's just something about it. It's just a little unnerving. I started developing the map for their village. Yeah, those characters are cool. I really like Sven and Stick. They're pretty memorable. Mostly because they talk so funny, I think. I mean, to me. There will be more. Excellent. I unfortunately have to head out very soon. My physics class is coming up. I'll have to check the VOD later. Have a good rest of the night. Okay, so now that we're here, go ahead. See you later, Toast but now that we're here, this is what I wanted to engage with you all about. Particularly one Mr. C, or Chris Saffron, as he may be known on the Twitch. So I'm a half hour over my time. and I have to take my dog out because he is like he has terrible diarrhea. So I was thinking next week. How long is your game? How long does it take to play? Because I only really like to go for an hour because I feel like the videos are good that way, or they're better that way. Oh dear God, not the dog liquid. Yeah, the dog he ate something and there's just as the Germans call it, Durchfall, which is shower falling. So I feel bad because yours is the only game you've watched. You've sat very patiently through 2 streams, and I feel very bad for you. Because it's probably roughly 30 minutes to an hour. Also, the sound effects and music add to the ambience, so you may want them. Okay. So how about this? Monochrome deserves its own session. Okay, cool. All right. So what we'll do is next week, I had an idea for next week, but maybe I can just push it at the end and we can take a look at another thing. So we'll play Monochrome next week. We'll give it the full experience, right? The full damn thing. And we'll analyze it. We'll talk about it. We'll have a great time. Probably we'll end up taking the whole stream, which is fine because it's a game that has clearly had an absolute shitload of work done on it. So let's do that. And if it turns out that it's a little bit faster, then we can do the thing that I had planned to do. But if not, no big deal. I'll push the next week thing off to next week. And then I think I'm going to just extend the second game jam date so that people have more time to work. Also so that I have more time to play non-game jam games. Because it sucks because like I have so much to say about so many, like all the different submissions, and game stories just take forever, right? Like they just naturally they take long. So no, stories in general, actually, it's not game stories, it's stories. Stories in general take a long time. They're just complex, right? Like it's easy to sit down and play like a game with absolutely no story because it's like a game mechanics jam where you can just kind of like, look at the mechanics and go, oh, isn't that interesting? But with story, it's kind of like you can't really just like look at the mechanics and go, aren't those mechanics interesting? And then move to the next game. You kind of have to like, here's the story. Here's how the setup works. Here's the characters. Here's the thing that this procced in my mind, that made me think about something. A good story takes a long time to get through and also worth sitting down for. Absolutely. It's tough. It's tough to stream because I have to do so much damn talking. So this is what we'll do. So next Thursday, we're going to play Monochrome. That'll be a good time. Music will be turned up. No problem. I'll even launch it beforehand and I'll make sure that the sound is right. It's also worth standing up for. You're absolutely right about that. You got to stand up for the stories. Got to stand up for them. Especially the little guy stories. Which is what I'll probably end up doing in 2 weeks, which is that outfit in Argentina. Those guys that are making pixel pulp, those things are awesome. They're so fucking cool. The Dwarven stories. All right, so sorry, Mr. C, that we couldn't get to yours today. I feel really bad. I really wanted to get through all of them in 2 streams, but at least you get your own dedicated stream. I hope that is a good consolation. Okay, cool. I'm glad. I'm glad that that doesn't make you sad, because I know that like I know people, because I was the same way. I am the same way. That like I would go to workshop and like in my MFA, and we had to read everybody's story, and there was 14 of us in the class, and it was so hard for me to give a shit about the other people's stories, even though I cared. I do care. I care about the other people's stories, but it was so hard for me to give a shit about their stories when my story was also going to be analyzed and thought about and talked about, right? It's just the nature of the beast. So I feel it. I understand. It's shitty and annoying. So yeah, but dedication. One full day, one full stream, dedication to Monochrome. to the newest newcomer and one of the most prolific messengers already in the Discord, Mr. C. And I've got to get this dog out before he poops all over the ground. So I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Goodbye now. Yes. Bye.